What is going on, you fucking sexies? Hold on, my friend said he's gonna sleep. Good night, bro. Damn, I'm up. It's 11 o'clock for me. You're gonna sleep? Well, never mind. He woke up at 4 a.m. That makes sense. But anyways, this is a beautiful night. We'll make this video not too long. Get to the point, because I actually want to go ride my bike. I'm feeling a good cruise throughout the night. Bike night. Does that rhyme? I don't know. Almost. Bike night, night to bike. Okay, I don't know why. It doesn't really rhyme, but it kind of rhymes. I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy. Aren't we all? But yeah, today's going to be a little quick video, but I'm off tomorrow and the next day, so... Well, I was going to say I was going to make a video outside, but it's going to be 100 degrees, so... Actually, let me see. It's going to be... I paid my phone bill. There we go. I was like, what do you... Fuck that. It's going to be 100 degrees. Never mind. We will be making a video in my room with the sunlight coming through the fucking window because it's fucking hot. Well, it is summer in the US right now, so I say in the US because in other countries, or so for the US, summer is like, I think it begins May, ends in September, early September. Whereas those months that I just said, and like some parts of the world, like Argentina, or like, I don't know if it's even that, just whatever. It's like fucking winter for them. It's trippy, right? Anyways, it's trippy, right? It's just like different, you know what I mean? This video, though, is not about that. It's about reincarnation. You may have had dreams of other lives. Like one time, bro, I had a dream that I was in the World War II. I think I was like a US soldier, and then there was a Japanese soldier. The fuck? Like, literally, I was on my knees in the dream, and dude, yeah, what the fuck? And this is when I was little, like maybe like 7 or 8. And well, you know, kids are very tapped in when you're young. You know, you're very with your subconscious. So I was a kid, and when kids have these dreams, and there's been stories of kids talking about their past lives. So when you're a kid, you're very tapped in. So yeah, dude, I was a kid, 7 years old, 8 years old, some shit like that. I had a dream where I it wasn't me. It was some other body. It wasn't Josh, right? It was another life. Like, it was in the fucking World War II. I was on my knees. I was about to get executed from like a Japanese soldier, and he put the gun in my head. It was probably like a 1911 pistol or some other, I don't know. And then he just shot me, and I remember feeling it went black, and I remember feeling like the rush of blood just come out of my head. If you ever had water, so there's this thing, like a syringe or a tool that people use if you have really clogged ears, or like maybe you took a shower and you have a very heavy water stream of your shower is strong. If you ever put your head and allow that stream of water just to go in your ear and it's strong pressure, it felt similar to that. Like, it felt like just a bunch of pressure. I guess that was a blood leading I don't know. Fact of the matter is, I had a dream where I was executed from a fucking Japanese soldier, and then it was a different life. It felt like it literally, I was a different man in World War II. Obviously, I wasn't alive in World War II, especially if I was 8 years old having this dream, you know. But we have other lives. You keep going, you know. If we're one consciousness experiencing itself in many different forms, etc., etc., you can choose if you want to keep going. You know, you as God, as creation, it's like you came down here to play the game, you know. It's so boring up there knowing everything, right? So of course you can have different lifetimes and in different eras and all that. So you keep going, but it's like this, bro. Imagine opening a book, you know, directly to chapter like 20 or some shit. You don't remember chapter 1 through 19, right? But the story is already happening. Characters exist, relationships exist. before, there's patterns that are unfolding and shit. Simply you wake up inside the chapter, and now imagine that's life, right? You arrive, you're given a body, a name, a family, a culture, an idea, an ego, and you think that that's all that there is, and you think that that is you, but that isn't all that you are. You're just given all these things that you think that it is all that you are, and eventually you're told, of course, that this is who you are, this is what you are. But what if that isn't where the story began, right? Like, this question sits at the heart of humanity's oldest spiritual ideas, the reincarnation, right? Buddha believes in it. I believe in it now. Just your soul. If you're watching this video, you fucking feel it in your soul. The belief appears in different forms across traditions. Hindu traditions, there's that. I forgot about that. There's the Hindus, rebirth, karma, liberation, whatever you want to call it. The Buddhists, like I was talking about, there's traditions. They talk about rebirth, although like their understanding of it, of what continues, between life differs importantly from the idea of an eternal individual seat or soul. Hey, what the fuck? An individual soul. Man, I gotta get my thoughts in check. Whereas like other religions, philosophical people, esoteric systems, they've developed their own versions of what a reincarnation could be. But the details aren't universal, like, because it's different in each belief. But underneath many of them is a similar question, does consciousness end when the body ends? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It keeps going because you're infinite. Reincarnation changes the scale through which you look at life when you really focus on this idea. Like, imagine for a moment that you lived before maybe once, maybe hundreds of fucking times, different genders, different cultures, different languages, different eras, maybe wealthy in one life, poor in another, powerful, unknown, loved, rejected, victorious, broken. Suddenly, then the identity you are defending so aggressively right now becomes one costume out of the many. You know what I mean? Like, your current personality matters, but it's not necessarily the whole story. Now connect this with my fucking last episode yesterday, and I asked, are you the body, or are you the awareness experiencing the body? So if you adapt that into the reincarnation framework, the body becomes temporary, the experience continues because your consciousness. And then, like, imagine like you're playing the game, right? Imagine playing multiple characters. Every character has a different storyline. One teaches courage, another teaches compassion, another confronts attachment, another, learns forgiveness. Eventually, the characters disappear, but the player, right, remains. Again, it's a metaphor, but it's a good way of explaining the idea of reincarnation. It's what's helped me understand it, even. Consciousness isn't, it's not collecting trophies like a game, but it's collecting perspective. And if you want to call the perspective gaining trophies, and fuck it, do that. But it opens another strange question, right? Like, have you ever felt instantly connected to a place you've never even visited in this life? A historical period? Like, for me, I feel pulled towards the 60s and the 70s, the hippie era. Like, I really do feel like I had a life in the 60s era and the 70s as a hippie. Like, especially when I started to wake up, like, when I would do acid and DMT, I felt heavy, the life that I had in the hippie era, like the 60s, 70s, like Led Zeppelin era, fucking all these bands, Pink Floyd. I was like, dude, I was taking acid even then. So, or have you ever felt pulled toward like a person you just met? Or have you ever experienced deja vu so intense that it almost felt like a fucking memory? You know, people can interpret these experiences in many ways. Memory processing, the fucking brain, pattern recognition, emotional association, coincidence even. But if you're like me, we both don't believe in coincidences, don't we? Yeah, no. But spiritually, possible, maybe it could mean possible echoes of something beyond this lifetime, right? So that's really what I'm saying. Like, what if consciousness explores existence from countless perspectives, which it does. Not even just what if, it does. We're all consciousness, looking through different windows. And perhaps that's one reason compassion appears so frequently in spiritual talks. Because if identity is temporary, who and why spend the entire experience fighting over costumes and characters that are temporary? The ego says this character is everything, right? Whereas awareness, the soul, says and knows and asks, what is experiencing this character? And reincarnation asks even bigger questions. How many characters might consciousness experience? One? Many? You know? You're here now. This experiencing is happening. This experience is happening. This experiencing. Whatever came before, whatever comes after, this moment is the chapter that's currently open. So, like, maybe awakening isn't obsessively trying to remember another timeline. Just know that it happened. And humble yourself. And know how eternal you are, infinite you are. And you keep going. But maybe it's also about completely being awake inside this life right now. Love while you're here. Live with no regrets. Create while you're here. Learn while you're here. Experience while you're here. Become aware while you're here. Because whether this is chapter 1, 20, 300,000, whatever, you're reading the chapter now, and that's what matters. So it's like, just don't get over hooked on the idea that you forget to enjoy this now, right? Hold on, I want to test something. I want to test if this camera locks onto the car. Oh, it did. Oh, yeah. Anyways, but allow it to humble, right? To humble you. That hell yeah, there is more. And hell yeah, you're not the body. And hell yeah, you keep going. But yeah, if you really care, if you like this video, go ahead and leave a like. But also, let me know if you've had love, yeah, that too. If you felt the difference to life that you've experienced. I love you guys. Namaste, lady, as a motherfucking titty.